Okay, we're factoring expressions in this video. We're studying the methods for factorization. We're going to discuss method number 3, which is factoring trinomials. In Spanish, this method is called factorización por tanteo. The main idea of this method is that you need to guess two numbers, and those numbers, they should give you the last term of the expression as a multiplication, okay, as a product. So if you multiply them, you should get the last term, the last number. But they also have to fulfill this. If you add them or subtract them, they should give you the middle term. The restriction is that this only works with trinomials, simple trinomials, stuffs that look like this: x squared plus 5x plus 6, x squared plus 4x minus 5, stuffs like that, okay? Stuffs that may look like this. So, following the main idea in this example, we could say that the numbers are 3 and 2, because 3 times 2 gives you 6. So I know that those two numbers give me the last term as a multiplication, right? So 3 times 2 gives me 6. But also, 3 plus 2 gives me 5, which is the second part of the idea. That guarantees that the answers will be 3 and 2. Well, in this other case, if we talk about numbers 6 and 1, for example, you might think that those are answers for this, but no, they're not, because yes, 6 times 1 gives you 6, but 6 plus 1 does not give you 5. Now, if you're thinking, no, but it says in there that a difference, that you can subtract. Well, yeah, 6 minus 1 gives you 5, but if you subtract, you're making the 1 negative. That means the multiplication is no longer 6, it's negative 6. That's not the case in here. So if you notice, some numbers work, others don't. The goal in here is to guess two numbers that may work. So let's try to use this to our advantage. Okay. Say we have these exercises. Let's try to factor them. Okay. Let's try to factor these trinomials. That's the name for this things. Following the process, it will be, I need to think two numbers that multiply will give me 10. Those numbers will be 2 and 5, right? Because 2 times 5 give me 10, yes? Not only that, 2 plus 5 give me 7, yes? So we're doing fine in here. It will be x plus 2 and x plus 5. You only copy the letter of the exercise, and you copy one of the numbers that you're using. Then, on the other parentheses, you copy the letter of the exercise again, and you copy one of the numbers, the other number in this case, that you guessed. And let's go with exercise number 2, because that will be the way we solved this. Very easy. Let's see this one now. Minus 10. How do you get minus 10? Well, also think, how do you get 3, adding and subtracting those numbers too? So the answer in here will be 5 times negative 2. 5 times negative 2 gives you minus 10, and 5 minus 2 gives you 3. So the answer will be, for this, you copy the letter of the exercise, you put one of the numbers. Then on the other parenthesis, you copy the letter of the exercise, and you put the other number. Notice that in this case, the 2 is negative. Okay, so it's going to be minus 2, not plus 2. Okay, and it works. 5 times negative 2 gives me 10 negative, and 5 minus 2 gives me 3. Yes. So if the final number is a negative, like in this case, minus 10, then you know you have a subtraction in there, right? That you're going to have to follow up. Now let's go with the next exercise. We need to think two numbers that multiply will give me 3. Which numbers, if you multiply them, are going to give you 3? Well, there's only an option in this case. 3 times 1, right? And 3 plus 1 is going to give you 4. So we're fine. Okay, it works with those two numbers. So I know the answer for the exercise will be y plus 3 and y plus 1. And that's it. That will be the exercise answer. Think on this one. Minus 12. If I use 6 times minus 2, okay, 6 times minus 2, can give me minus 12. But the problem is that 6 minus 2 does not give me -4, right? So it doesn't work with 6 and -2. The numbers that we should think of in this case will be 2 and -6. 2 times -6 gives me -12, and 2 minus 6 is going to give me -4, so those numbers are correct. Those are the numbers I have to use in the exercise. So the answer of this exercise will be with number 2 and with number -6. It will be y plus 2, y minus 6. That will be the answer for this exercise. Let's proceed with other exercises of example. Okay, so let's try to do this one. 6. To get 6, we know is 3 times 2. The problem is those two numbers are positive, so if you combine them, they're not going to give you -5, right? So it's not 3 and 2. In which other way we can get 6? You might be thinking, 1 times 6. Yes, but 1 plus 6 does not give you -5. Now you might be thinking, but if I subtract, the problem is that if you put a minus in here, that's not going to give you +6 if you multiply, right? So we need to think a little bit more. The key in here is you need to remember that positive is not only an answer for two positive numbers, it's also an answer for two negatives. Remember, minus times minus gives you plus. So the numbers that we need to use are -3 times -2. Minus and minus will give you plus. 3 times 2, 6. And if you combine them, -3 minus 2, that will give you -5. So it works if both of them are negative. In this case, the answer will be n minus 3 and n minus 2. Because -3 times -2 gives you 6. And -3 minus 2 gives you -5. Yes? 3 times 2, 6. -3 minus 2, -5. Now in this case, 30. You get 30 with 3 times 10. To get 7, there should be a subtraction, so it will be 10 minus 3, right? And 10 and -3 gives you the -30, so we're fine. It will be x plus 10 and x minus 3. Those will be the answers for these exercises. Now let's check this other one. 1. The only way to get 1 is 1 times 1. But I'm looking for a -2. 1 plus 1 does not give me -2. But -1, -1, yes. And -1 times -1 gives me +1. So we're fine with those numbers. The answer for this will be z -1 and z -1. That will be the answer for this exercise. Now let's think on this one. 24. How do you get 24? Well, 6 times 4. But 6 and 4 are not going to give you 11, right? So think on different numbers. 24 is 12 times 2. But 12 and 2 are not going to give you 11. They could give you 14. Or if you subtract them, they could give you 10. But they're not going to give you 11. Is there another option for obtaining 24? Yes. 8 times 3. 8 times 3 gives you 24. And 8 plus 3 gives you 11. Yes? So you get the two numbers that you're thinking. The answer will be m plus 8 and m plus 3. And that will be it. So that is the way on how we factor trinomials.